What's going on, channel? I am Hated. Welcome to my channel. First of all, a little disclaimer on this video. This might be, one, it's going to be hard for me. It's going to be really hard for me. Plus, I'm going to put some pictures down on the bottom as well. That might be graphic, or I won't say graphic, but they might make some uncomfortable. Let's put it that way. So, let me mute my phone real quick because that just went off. But so that's just a disclaimer. If you don't want to see anything like that, click off the video. You don't have to watch it. If you want to just listen to it, hey, that's cool. I appreciate it. But today we're going to talk about the, how can I put it, the Valentine's Day attack that I was a victim of when I was in Iraq 2006. So, like I said, this is going to be hard for me, but I'm going to try to get through this. As most of you know, if you're watching this video, I was obviously in the military. I did 6 years in the Army as a military policeman, and I was deployed to Iraq in 2006. We got to Kuwait in January, ended up in Iraq a few weeks later, and wasn't long after that we were attacked by the terrorists down there. So this is just my account of it. This is what I remember. We'll go ahead and go over that. In 2000, I was the gunner. That was my role in the team. I was in top of the turret, top of the truck, and my job was to protect the truck. I was the eyes and ears of the truck because I had the best vantage point. I was outside. I could see everything. I just had the better. I had the position in the truck that I was able to do more. I was able to see everything a lot clearer than the guys down in the truck itself, down driving, and the team leader in the passenger seat up front. In our truck, we had our interpreter, our Iraqi interpreter. She was an Iraqi national that worked for us, worked for the Army, worked for the Department of Defense. She actually lived with us on the base, and yeah, that was the truck. We were on a mission to go to see the Iraqi police station, IPs. So when I say IPs, that's what I'm talking about, the Iraqi police. We were going to go check on them because our job there, my heart's like honestly going already, sorry. Our job there was to train the Iraqi police to police the country. We were training them how to be cops, real cops, because they were all Iraqi nationals. So our mission that day, we were just going to go check on them, ensure everything they were doing everything by the book. They weren't doing anything illegal, and that's where we were headed. We originally left in the morning after breakfast. Sat down, had a breakfast, and it was always weird when we were in Iraq because every meal you kind of treated it like it was your last because you didn't know if it was or not. And luckily we were on a base in Baghdad. We were actually in Baghdad itself, where we had a pretty decent dining facility. So I still remember the meal I had there. It was bacon, scrambled eggs, French toast, sausage patties, and hash browns. That was my typical breakfast there because that was all things I liked. So if it was going to be my last meal, I wanted it to be something that I liked. But we originally rolled out after that. After breakfast, we met up at our trucks, did our mission briefing, and our interpreter wasn't allowed in our mission briefings. She was sitting in the truck. But so we did our usual briefing. We went over everything, went over the mission, went over the route. And one thing my squad always did is we always got together just before we left, and we said a prayer. One of the team leaders or squad leaders, or just one of the squad members, they would lead us in a prayer just before we went out. Just kind of get that little. They always say there's no atheists in foxholes, and we weren't atheists. We actually believed in a God while we were there to protect us. One of the things, this quick side note. One of the things our platoon sergeant did before we left is he gave the entire platoon St. Thomas, I think it was St. Thomas medallions, and I think he's the patron saint of soldiers and stuff like that. So I wore that on my chest everywhere just because we were in Iraq. I wanted something, you know. But we rolled out in the morning right after breakfast. We left the fob, started going down our MSR, and we came down this hill. And I was the lead truck. Our truck was always in the front because I had the squad leader, and we were considered the alpha team. We were the best. Had the best driver. My driver Josh, he had been a driver for a while. He wanted to be a gunner so bad. So me and him were really good friends. I trusted him with my life, and he trusted me with his. And we had our squad leader in our truck. She wanted to be right up there up front with us, and she wanted us as her team because she had the utmost trust in us. And that's one thing I'll never forget. And as we were rolling down the streets of Baghdad, our 4th truck, Delta team, their truck randomly died. I don't remember exactly what happened. I think it was a radiator or something, but something happened in the vehicle that completely caused the vehicle to just die. We were on a downhill and it just rolled. And our 3rd truck, Charlie team, called it out, put it over the radio. We all stopped, set up security. We ended up finding out that the truck was just dead. So we hooked it up, towed it back to the fob. At that point, the entire mission was over because we couldn't roll with just 3 trucks. We weren't going to leave that 4th truck there, and so the only thing we could do was to take it back to the base. So we got back to the base, and the decision came down that we were going to go right back out there. We ended up switching out Delta Team's truck. They took over a brand new truck, and we rolled out. And one of the things I remember is I actually got in a little fight, verbal argument with my squad leader because she, I didn't like the fact that we were going back out. I wasn't happy about it. I was actually laying on the truck, like we were waiting outside the platoon headquarters or the company headquarters, and I was just laying on top of the truck, and I didn't have a good feeling about anything. Like it's just one of those gut feelings, you know, where you just know something's not right. So I actually ended up getting in an argument with her, but she was the squad leader. It was her choice. It came down from higher. We were rolling back out. So we got together again, did our little quick mission briefing where we just said it's the same thing. We're doing the same stuff. We're going down the same route. We're going to go do the same thing. And loaded up in the trucks. And regardless of any feelings I had or arguments I had, we were going. So we get back out on the road, out in the middle of Baghdad, and we come down that same downhill, and just in front of that downhill we were taking a left turn down onto another MSR. And now as we took a left down that thing, shortly down the road there was an overpass, and one of the things we had to do on overpass as gunners is we had to first of all clear the overpass with our weapon, which I had my driver's M4 up on top with me along with my personal saw, my squad automatic weapon. It was a M249 light machine gun, and I just had that up there with me. And on the main turret itself I had the M250 cal, which was my baby. I love that thing. But we came up to the underpass, and I cleared the top, and we were supposed to turtle on top of the turret, where when I mean turtle is you had the turret opening, and since we're up here, what we were supposed to do is put our back as flat as we could on top of the turret, because one of the things that the terrorists was doing was they would drop stuff off the overpass and try to get it inside the truck. So we turtled and hoped that it would bounce off our backs and out of the truck and not land inside the truck. So I was getting ready to turtle, and next thing I know I hear a loud bang, and there was just a big cloud of smoke and dust everywhere, and it was just it's kind of scary. I didn't know exactly what was going on yet, and really didn't understand. Like, we were just kind of dazed for a while. And the thing that pulled us out of the I guess you could say the shock was our interpreter, because the first thing I remember hearing after the explosion itself is her screaming. She was just screaming I can't even describe the sound that was coming out of her mouth. Like, just, she was screaming, like, I don't know, she was just screaming, you know. And at that point I was looking down just kind of trying to gain my bearings, trying to figure out what was going on. And as I looked down, all I could remember seeing is blood everywhere. And my squad leader, she started screaming, but she was more like trying to tell us what to do. And first thing we wanted to do was, we were yelling at my driver to stop, because it felt, in our heads, it felt like we were still rolling, felt like we were still moving, and so we just wanted him to stop so we could figure out what was going on. And so we're sitting, I joined my squad leader yelling at him, and I remember I was down in the turret and I was looking at my driver, and he was just had this 1,000-yard stare out the front window. But eventually the vehicle stopped, and the first thing I could think of was grab the radio mics, because they were right in front of me. And since I was down seated in the turret now, I just grabbed the radio mics and I grabbed them, and I don't remember exactly what it was. I was just like, we need help, we've been hit, because that's the only thing I could think of. And I threw the radio mic right back down on the ground, or back onto the radio, which if the radios had actually been working, which they weren't, because when the blast came through, it ended up damaging the radios as well. I wouldn't have heard any comebacks or any callbacks, but I remember I was just sitting there, like, trying to figure out what was going on, just trying to assess the situation, and my squad leader started yelling at me, move Martinez, stand up, I don't think I have legs. So, and she was telling the truth, she didn't have legs. And so I had my arms up on top of the turret, and I started to try to pull myself up, and that's when I realized that something wasn't right with me. Something wasn't right with my legs. So I just screamed back at her. I was like, I think my leg's broken, I can't move, I think my legs are broken. We just yelled back and forth for a while. And the next voice I remember hearing was that of one of the other team leaders. His name was Bridges. And he yells for me. He's like, Martinez, what's going on? And I just told him, Sergeant Bridges, get in. I yelled, Sergeant Bridges, get in here, we need help.